Hi guys, just a quick video I'm posting today. Obviously the 2nd of March has passed and the 3rd of March has passed and nothing happened aside from this nor'easter which killed a few people, but wasn't the event that we've been talking about, or even one of the events that we've been talking about. Still significant, but not what we was looking for. I just got another idea here in terms of a potential date to look at. This rocket over here, this penis and testicles, I have said that it could be interpreted as L3, which is the lunar third, which it still could be, but it could also be interpreted as the letter A and the number 3, which could stand for either April 3rd or August 3rd, in connection with the fool me once kind of theory, looking at April 3rd there. So nothing actually happening on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day and Easter, but 2 days later, potentially something happening on April 3rd. To reiterate the point there, possibly, let me see. Even the house itself, this line here, there's a little break here, and then this line that comes down comes over this bottom line here. So it's almost as if it's not actually part of the house. So it's sort of like it's a veiled message. So just without the bottom line, you've got another representation of the letter A there, and obviously the flame that comes off the side, another representation of the number 3. So again, you could be looking at April 3rd. Those are just, two kind of references that I wanted to point out in this video. Possibly looking at April 3rd. Now, April 3rd is obviously can be looked at in two ways. You've got April 3rd on the Gregorian calendar, and you've got April 3rd on the Gregorian calendar, which would be the 18th lunar day in the 2nd lunar month, or you've got April 18th, which is the 3rd lunar day in the 3rd lunar month. I'm thinking more along the lines of April the 18th. I said in the video that I made a while back, when I was looking at February the 18th, that there's 2 days that have the 3rd lunar day, which is obviously one was February the 18th, which was the 3rd lunar day, and the second one is April the 18th, which is also a 3rd lunar day, but it's also in the 3rd lunar month. And if J.K. Boggart's right about the number 3 that appears in the boy's eyes, and in both eyes, then that could be suggesting the 3rd lunar month and the 3rd lunar day. As I've talked about the LC scene with the letter C possibly representing the number 3, which is attached to the number 15, which is inscribed on the ground in Roman numerals. That could be telling us the number 18, which if that is the case, then number 18 and the number 3 correspond on the same day in April, which is April the 18th. So that's one of the dates that I'm now looking at in terms of anything happening, or two of the dates, April 3rd and April 18th, which I've mentioned before. Another thing that I wanted to point out here is in this video, I'm just gonna play it.
Fool me once, fool me once, fool me once. Shame on, shame on. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Fool me can't get fooled again, can't get fooled again, can't get fooled again, can't get fooled again, can't get fooled again,
I just want to pause it there because it stood out to me. I don't know why it hasn't before, but it stood out to me that George Bush or Donald Trump, whichever the character represents, maybe both, he's the only character in this entire video that says anything. He's the only person they've given words to. And obviously the phrase that we've all focused on is the fool me once part. Now, if you guys remember, when we was looking at the video and we broke down the letters on the chalkboard, which is Evo or love backwards in one block, and then T separate and then N separate. When we broke down the letters into their numerical representations and we added those individual digits together, they gave us these numbers: 18, 2, and 14. In reverse, that's the 14th of February 2018, which is Valentine's Day. And on Valentine's Day 2018, this Florida school shooting happened, which is the Valentine's Day massacre. So going with that same kind of theory, I looked at the phrase "fool me once" and I broke it down again into its numerical representations and added up the individual digits to get these numbers: 21, 9, 18. That's the 21st of September 2018. That is the International Day of Peace, which is obviously, if we're looking at a potential event that would cause destruction and disaster, then it would be ironic to do it on the International Peace Day. It's also the autumnal equinox, so again we've got a reference to a switch happening, similar to like the yin yang kind of theory, the duality twin system, and coincidentally it's also my birthday that day, in the star sign of Virgo. So I haven't managed to find any other correspondence to this date in the video itself, but looking at the 21st of September, it is the 264th day of the year, and there are 101 days remaining until the end of the year. And obviously when I saw that, I thought about the LOL here, which could be LOL or IOI, but also could be 101, which is 101. And if the "fool me once" phrase is purposely put there, because I mean it could have gone through the whole phrase: "Fool me once, can't fool me once, shame on me; fool me twice, shame on you," whatever. But it didn't. It just chose the "fool me once" phrase and echoed that, and then moved on to the rest of the phrase, or some of it anyway. So 101, that could represent September the 21st, could have been encoded into the "fool me once" phrase, which is shown in the breakdown that I've got here. 21st September, and there's 101 days obviously remaining, so that could be an indication that they're talking about September the 21st. On the same day last year is when we had Hurricane Maria, which affected Puerto Rico, and obviously Puerto Rico are still, trying to recover from that storm. Still have millions of people without electricity, food, water, those kind of things. They're still having difficulty with all that. On the same day, it was the Central Mexico earthquake, which killed at least 273 people. Two major events that happened on the same day, September the 21st, 2017, and then 2 days later was the Revelation 12 sign, where a lot of people thought something was going to happen, specifically relating to the rapture. I never try and figure out the rapture date, because obviously we're told that we will never know the day or time, so there's no point trying to do that. But trying to figure out when these man-made events will happen is a little bit more realistic, because obviously something man-made is planned, and if we're talking about these secret societies and the things that they do, then they like to kind of mock people by putting the clues and the signs in plain sight, right in your face, but you just view it as entertainment, music, movies, TV shows, even media reports that report similar phrases like "very bad day" and stuff like that. They're all kind of signs. So that's pretty much the video. That's pretty much what I wanted to point out. April the 3rd, which seems to be indicated in the house and in the rocket testicles kind of image. Whether that's April the 3rd on the Gregorian calendar or April the 18th on the Gregorian calendar, which is the third lunar day in the third lunar month, remains to be seen. And then there's this date that just has come out of the "fool me once" phrase, which is September the 21st, the same day as Hurricane Maria, the same day as the Mexico earthquake, autumnal equinox, International Peace Day, and my birthday. So you guys, we'll see what happens. Obviously September's a long way away. I had no intention of going past April looking at dates, but considering the day is my birthday, I'm gonna pay attention to it. that's pretty much it. So you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.